Very calm as she enters the cage here. Ivanna Siric.
And next to walk out to the cage, we've got Ivanna Siric as opponent, also making her professional MMA debut. We've got Joanne Doyle fighting out of Team Fulin Kazan with an amateur record of 9-4. She's competed at the 2016 IMAF European Open Championships, the 2017 IMAF World Championships, and back at the IMAF European Championships in 2018 as well. Joanne Doyle has been through a lot as an amateur, and it's those types of records with the IMAFs, the Europeans and the Worlds that really can set fighters apart when they step into the professional ranks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the IMAF route is arguably the best route to go down if you're looking for a really solid background in the amateur ranks. And yeah, she's pretty much seen it all, as you mentioned. Twice competed at the European Championships, once at the World Championships. Very, very good amateur record, 9-4. Very dangerous fighter, and big shout out for the matchmakers for putting this one together, because it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, you can instantly see why this is the fight that I pinpointed on the entire card that I was most looking forward to, because it's just a phenomenal fight. We've got an experienced amateur fighter that's fought in the IMAF Worlds and the European Championships. And then on the opposite side of the cage, you've got a fighter in the amateur ranks that was the Cage Warriors Southeast champion. So both sides really credentialed. I'm excited for this one to get underway.
Yeah, the Norwegian team that have flown over for Battle Arena haven't had the most success today. They'll be hoping that they can walk away with a victory here for Ivanna Siric. She's joined in the corner by flyweight that we saw earlier, Jean Camille. As Joanne Doyle just makes her way into the cage. Big roar from the crowd here in Birmingham. We're just minutes away from this very exciting matchup. Fighters have been introduced. In the red corner, we've got Ivanna Siric in the all black. In the blue corner, we've got Joanne Doyle in the black and the red. They touch gloves. We're about to get underway in this flyweight contest.
The referee says fight. The fighters don't touch them up, and we're off.
Another southpaw on display here.
It's amazing how many southpaws we've seen on one event. It really is.
Oh, nice straight left then from Siric, landed clean.
Yeah, good combination there. It started from the lead leg kick as well. And again, that lead leg kick to the 1-2. It looks like a combination that Siric has been working on, and then she goes in the reverse.
Yeah, 1-2 and the low kick. That's beautiful work, that is.
Yeah, mixing things up early.
Yeah, you can tell that she's drilled that over and over again.
Yeah, obviously there's still a long time to go in this fight. It's only just started, but Siric does look really clean and really crisp as a striker. Joanne Doyle firing back momentarily.
Yeah, she's starting almost every combination with this leg kick and then following it up with the 1-2.
Yeah, Siric looks like a really educated striker out there, John. She really does.
Both women look extremely calm and composed.
Oh, and a good
big
straight
left hand
left.
there lands. Just snaps the head back of Joanne Doyle momentarily.
I think Joanne Doyle really needs to find a range here, because she's missing on a few of the strikes that she's throwing, and it's fine. We're not long into the fight, but Siric is landing on her while she's still trying to find a range. So she just needs to speed it up a little bit in that respect.
Yeah, she's landing a few of these nice inside low kicks though, just starting to redden up the right leg.
And that's a big left hand again, which forces Joanne Doyle to shoot. But if you look, Siric has got a nice whizzer on that right-hand side that prevented the takedown and pulled her back up to her feet.
Yeah, she'll be looking to dig the underhook in with that left hand there as well. And try and reverse the position, get her back off the fence. Doyle's doing a good job here with the control though up against the fence.
Yeah, I did wonder if Joanne Doyle would be the more physical fighter in the clinch positions, and you know, from the brief moments that we've seen at the minute, it does look that way.
Yeah, look at the power in those legs of Joanne Doyle, just driving through the middle of the legs of Ivanna Siric just to keep her in this position. Referee wants to see a little bit more action. Siric just happy to go on the defensive here and kind of tie up, not really letting Joanne Doyle land any shots. There she gets that underhook, and now she's going to look to turn, but...
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Joanne Doyle to get the fight down to the mat from this position. She's going to need to drop down, level change again, and maybe reshoot.
Good knees are landing, aren't they? Yeah, from Siric.
Yeah, Siric looks like a really educated kickboxer. Joanne Doyle's trying to slide her left leg around the back of Siric's right leg to reap the leg out and take her down. Siric wise to it, breaks off, back into the centre of the cage.
Yeah, really good defensive work then from Ivanna Siric.
Good jab. Joanne Doyle coming forward with a combination of her own. Siric just moving out of the way in time.
Yeah, nice movement there, circled out of it beautifully. Didn't allow her back to go against the fence so that Doyle could shoot in with a takedown afterwards. Really good footwork so far on display.
And now Siric trying to catch the kick, gets the double leg takedown. She's going to try and tie up the legs, Dagestani style. And that's going to prevent Joanne Doyle from standing back up to her feet, because ultimately to stand back up to your feet, John, you need to plant your feet on the mat. And when they're elevated and tied up, you just can't do that. But credit to Joanne Doyle, she's got out of that position. She's now regained guard.
Yeah, threw up an elbow off the bottom there. Just constantly keeping Siric thinking.
And I'm just wondering how much of a threat Doyle's going to be off her back in these positions. You know, she's experienced. She's going to have dealt with these positions before. She's going to have been in them on the mat training every single day. It looks like she's trying to throw her legs up over the shoulder of Siric.
Yeah, Siric has got to be careful here. The submission threat from Joanne Doyle does a good job there, getting both arms out of danger.
I think for me,
big up kick lands there from Joanne Doyle.
And Siric takes the back of Doyle in a scramble. She's going to try and sink the arm under the throat.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position here. Siric has got the hooks in, looking to flatten out Joanne Doyle.
Yeah, I think
now she's just turned it to the ground and pound instead. Nice scramble from Joanne Doyle. But
yeah,
she's still in the mount.
Joanne Doyle did well to get out of that position. It looks like Siric is trying to set up an armbar momentarily. Nope, she's scooted round to side back mount. She's going to look to step back over to sink a hook in to get the back of Doyle.
Saved by the bell there, Joanne Doyle. Looked like that forearm was sinking under the throat of Joanne Doyle.
And it looks like some of that
She's
ground and
busted
pound
up as well there in the corner.
Some of that ground and pound from Siric has got through, and Joanne Doyle is busted up, blood all over her face as they break after round one. Yeah, you can see on the bridge of the nose of Joanne Doyle there's a cut. I'm not sure if it's broken.
Yeah, nasty cut as well there.
I didn't see if there was any sort of angle bending off which would indicate a break, but definitely a nasty cut.
Siric really cool, calm and collected in her corner here. Her team will be very happy with how that first round went.
Yeah, because again, wherever the fight went, John, it did feel like Siric was in control, apart from the moments that Joanne Doyle had Siric up against the cage. But out in the striking, I feel that Siric is the cleaner, crisper striker. And then on the ground in those positions, when they were scrambling again, Siric looked to be the one in control. Let's see what Joanne Doyle's going to do here to switch things up a little bit.
And there you go, straight back to that leg kick 1-2 from Ivanna Siric. She had a lot of success with it in the first round, and she's wisely gone straight back to it in the second round.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason she's catching Joanne Doyle with it is because it's quite an unusual combination, not one that you see very often. And then when she hits it in reverse straight after, you know, it's very difficult for Joanne Doyle to get those reads in, to see them come in.
Yeah, like you say, very unusual. Usually you see the 1-2 and then somebody following it up with the leg kick, but not very often you see someone starting off with that low kick, and a big left hand lands there on the chin of Joanne Doyle.
Yeah, it was a good right hook to a straight left hand from Siric. Superman punch attempt. Joanne Doyle tries to close the distance and clinch up. Siric not having any of it. Yeah, I think one problem that Joanne Doyle's having here is she's really struggling to find the range on the feet to land. She's trying to strike from the outside and missing, and that's not necessarily what she's not doing. It's Siric's distance management and her control of the range. It's really impressive.
Yeah, Joanne Doyle's nose is really busted up there from the ground and pound in round one of Siric, and the repeated 1-2s that are landing. That's going to make it difficult for Joanne Doyle to breathe through her nose. Just spitting out some blood there just as I say that. So she's going to have the mouth open while she's breathing, which obviously leaves your chin more vulnerable.
Yeah, she's getting lit up here, Joanne Doyle. Siric is really putting the pace on her. She's landing 1-2s with unbelievable accuracy. It's almost like she can't miss at the minute. Now they're clinched up, she's firing knees to the leg, to the top of the thighs, routinely going to the body. This is just a really impressive performance from Ivanna Siric. You can see why
very good professional debut so far.
Yeah, you can see why there's a lot of hype on Siric, you know, around the venue when you talk to people out in Norway.
Good control here up against the fence for Ivanna Siric. She's using that head positioning and that head pressure just as almost like a third arm to control the posture of Joanne Doyle. They separate now and straight away back to the 1-2s from Siric.
Yeah, those 1-2s are just landing every time. Joanne Doyle she really needs to start moving ahead, and that blood is leaking badly,
Yeah,
John.
that's a real nasty injury to the nose there, Joanne Doyle. But she's fighting through the pain at the moment. A big head kick lands there, partially.
And a kick to the body followed by that. Yeah, that nose is leaking really badly. It wouldn't surprise me if that was actually broken.
Yeah, big left hand lands there.
Oh,
big right, and
what a combination! 3-4 punch combination, a knee to the head.
Huge knees here from Ivanna Siric.
Yeah.
Referee's taking a close look at this because Siric is landing at will at the moment.
And a takedown. I'm not sure that Siric should have gone to a takedown there personally, but if she can
bludgeoning the elbows, so
yeah, if she can land the ground and pound, then of course it'd have been worth it to get the fight down to the mat. But on the feet, Siric looked like she was in full control and not far away from a stoppage. But what this does, it just at this moment right now, what we're looking at, it just gives Joanne Doyle time just to regroup, find herself, have a bit of respite. Whereas Siric was really pouring it on the feet.
Oh, big elbow there with the left arm of Siric. I don't think
the referee wants to see too much more.
I was just about to say, I don't think we'll be seeing much more of this fight if it continues in this vein, because Siric has landed some heavy ground and pound. She's already done a lot of damage on the feet. Takes Joanne Doyle to the mat, and she's landing elbows, forearms, ground and pound, but Doyle, there it is!
A phenomenal professional MMA debut for Norway's Ivanna Siric, beating a very tough and game opponent in Joanne Doyle. I'm impressed, John. That was a phenomenal performance.
Really good performance there for Ivanna Siric. Looked really good on the feet, and then took the fight to the mat and landed the heavy ground and pound, forcing the referee to step in. And as you say, against a really tough opponent as well in Joanne Doyle. A big shout out to Joanne Doyle, who braved that nasty nose injury from the first round ground and pound. But in the end, Ivanna Siric had too much for her and goes to 1-0 in the professional ranks. Great performance from Ivanna Siric. Ivanna Siric announces your official winner here in the co-main event of Battle Arena 62. Pretty much a flawless performance in her professional debut there. Really impressive stuff from Ivanna Siric. Looking forward to seeing more of her as she ventures further into a professional career. I'm sure Joanne Doyle will come back stronger from this one. But a big congratulations to Ivanna Siric on her victory here at Battle Arena 62.
All right, I'm here with your winner in the women's flyweight division, Ivanna Siric. Ivanna, an incredible performance, a dominant win, and you really put it all together there. I really want to know, after a stoppage like that, what's next for Ivanna Siric? What do you want?
Thank you very much. And if you have someone on 57, I'm ready. Here at Battle Arena or Cage Warriors, whenever. My dream is to come in UFC if I get a chance to fight there.
So you want to fight on the biggest promotions, you want to go to the biggest stage. Any women out there at 57 kilos, you're putting them on notice. What makes you different than the other 57 kilo fighters that are already out there? What are you going to bring to the table to these big promotions?
You know, I'm fighting the last 10 years, like kickboxer first. I came from Bosnia. I was fighting there. We used to travel 2 days and just came and fight without money. Then I moved to Norway to live with my boyfriend. I started to grapple and MMA. So I had a really tough skills to get here.
Well, I think I can almost fill that in for you, Ivanna. It's very rare to see women finishing fights, and you did so in incredible style there. So all those promotions out there, especially here at Battle Arena, we need to get more flyweights in because Ivanna Siric is here to finish fights. So Ivanna, say thanks to the people at home, and we'll go next.
Thank you very much, everyone. Tusen takk alle sammen. Yes.
All right, Norway, you're champ tonight, and we'll go back to the action.